Good evening, everyone. Sorry we are a bit late, but we have finally made it to round 9 of Up and Comers in season 2023B. My name is Adam Tice. I'm joined by broadcast extraordinaire Sam Chapman. We thank you for your patience. We've had a few technical difficulties this evening, but hopefully they are all well and truly dusted. As we join, late in Heat 1 of Up and Comers. As I said, I'm excuse me, welcome by Sam Chapman. Sam, good evening. And I know you've had struggles trying to get us live tonight, so but welcome. We're in for a good night of racing, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure we are. No, I got everything ready. I thought I even had time to go get a gin and tonic, and it turned out that was a massive lie. So we're up and running now. The sprint race was pretty quick to get started, but looks fairly lively. These Mustangs are they're a bit tricky at first, but once you get the hang of them, they're a bit of fun. Just a bit of a pert and squirt car. So we'll see how these guys goes tonight. There's a bit of a championship battle going on still. So this is round 9 of the season of 10. I'll have a look at the points here as well. Going in, Chuk Fung Wong is leading against Sean Rees, who is 28 points behind. And doesn't have quite as few drop points in tow. That's followed by Woods, Paget and Hooper down to 5th. So we'll see how they go tonight. Sean's looking good, having won the first race just there, but Wong calling closely in second. So these two seem to be the ones to watch at the moment.
Yeah, and congratulations to Sean. Hopefully he doesn't watch the first heat back tonight. He skips to the second heat because he'll miss a hell of a lot. But thanks for the update, Sam. It is privy to note Ben Woods and Greg Paget, who are 3 and 4 in the championship, aren't actually in the server tonight. So that actually gives a chance for Jonathan Hooper to gather some points and possibly move into position 3 of the championship, leading into next week's last round, where the gentlemen will be racing, like last season, all 3 cars on 3 different tracks. So certainly something to keep an Jonathan's certainly someone to keep an eye on tonight.
Absolutely. As they line up for the second race here, let's show 1, the results of the first race.
While you're bringing that up, Sam, heat number 2 is a reverse grid race. So it's the only reverse grid race in the club where it's a full reverse grid. Normally it's a top 10, as we see Sean Rees overcoming Chuk Fung Wong. Wayne Edwards, a great third. Jonathan Hooper, Adam Johnson, Shane Kelland. I'm not familiar with that name, so I'm guessing Shane's a new member. So welcome, Shane. Justin Cotter, as the guys have taken off heat number 2. So Timothy Andrew on pole position. Oh dear. Yeah, that's Timothy Andrews. Not a name I'm familiar with either. Oh, they're off. There's a cast of the other ones. There's about 4 of them off the track. One's on their roof. This is all gone helter skelter. In maybe we picked the wrong time to start the broadcast, Sam, or you know.
I think that's called commentator's curse. For everyone on the grid, sadly. So let us know if you don't want us to broadcast next week.
Yeah, we promise we actually don't mean it. We certainly don't have anything at play that we can control that causes this sort of thing to happen. But unfortunately, Brendan Soper, Aidan Schultz, and Jonathan Hooper, who I did talk up about 3 minutes ago, they find themselves in the pit. I owe Jonathan an apology, no doubt. But what we have at the moment is Justin Cotter leading from Philippau. Chuk Fung Wong, who we used to having up the front with Sean Rees. They are 3rd and 4th respectively. And it's great to see Justin Cotter up the front. He currently has a 2-second gap over Philippau. So Justin's, with due respect to Justin's, a little bit unfamiliar territory, but he's certainly no slouch behind the wheel either.
Absolutely. But look, so this is on board with Sean Rees, chasing down Wong and Howe. Wong right on the back of Howe here, hounding him down, and Cotter not making a huge amount of time ahead. So we'll see what happens. I'd imagine he's very eager to get past, and we know he's not afraid of an overtake as well. So whether Sean sits behind a bit and just waits until he can muscle his way through as well. There's not huge straights around Lime Rock. This is probably the best overtaking opportunity here, but it's not the heaviest of braking zones, which makes it difficult. Whoa!
Ooh.
Oh, shit. So,
Lime Rock, one of the free tracks in the server, so very obviously a quite popular track, and one where small enough to have some pretty intense battles, but also big enough where if you do get a gap, you can certainly utilise that to your advantage. As the 3 here of Howe, Wong and Rees have caught up to the back of Justin Cotter.
Yeah.
So these guys will probably utilise each other. Justin Cotter's got that nice old HRT livery from Peter Brock's from the 80s. Beautiful looking car.
Whoa, that's Cotter.
Oh, I've got to stop talking. I've got to stop mentioning names. Maybe I'll talk about the weather or something like that. So sorry, Justin.
And look at this as well. This is Wong on Howe. He's taken advantage of that situation ahead. And there's contact. It looked like netcode between Rees and Howe there.
It did look like netcode.
And Rees was flashing earlier on, so it wouldn't be surprising if it was netcode. Well, that's just gifted Wong a 10-second lead on Cotter. Rees was unable to recover quickly. That's quite significant.
It is, and I don't think that there's race control tonight. So all the penalties and so forth will have to be done post-race. But Chuk Fung Wong is going to have a massive smile on his face. Half a lap ago, he was sitting in 3rd, and now he, as you said, Sam, he's got over a 10-second lead upon the field, and he's not going to bother looking in the rearview mirror because he is one that when he gets in front, he will just go and go and go.
absolutely. And I will note, as he does a 59.77, that he has no listed off track. So whether or not there's any other penalty points that he's got, I'm not sure, but all the others have. So once again, another bonus in the points department for him if he's kept it clean.
And that he is, as you were saying. Oh, look
that
out.
was deep. Okay. And there goes Reese again. Oh,
did he catch the back of Philip Howe there? Or, let's see if we can get a replay of that at all.
We'll do some replays.
I'm not sure if that was they connected or it was a spin in sympathy, but
I think we'll have time to do a little bit of replaying because of all the accidents that spread out quite a lot now. But I really want to have a quick look at that start as well because that was nuts.
Took's just put in the fastest. Here's a start. So Timothy Andrew is on pole position. He's in the white car.
Okay, so bad start on the front, and then that's just caused all sorts of mischief down the line. And
so I'm not sure who was behind Timothy Andrew, but obviously they weren't expecting Timothy to be slow off the line. But they've gone everywhere bar the track. Which is unfortunate. So I don't even own this car, Sam. I haven't driven it. So are they a hard car to get off the line?
I mean, yeah, like they can be. Then they don't have traction control. Oh gosh, don't have traction control, so you can just spin your wheels, or you can, not give it enough juice. If you're smooth on the clutch and you give it full juice, then it's generally okay. But remember as well, this is a full reverse grid because there's only 10 guys out there, so it means it makes it quite difficult for those guys up on the front of the grid there because when you're not used to being up the front of the grid, that's when you get a bit shaky and. You can't let go of your clutch quite so smoothly, can you? So
it's that scenario where you talk to yourself when you're up the front and you go, don't stuff this up, don't stuff this up, don't stuff this up. And it's kind of, unfortunately end up doing that. I know I've done that previously myself. You kind of talk yourself into causing a bit of chaos, unfortunate chaos. So Sean Reese, though, on screen, he seems to look like he's recovered okay. He's in 6th position. He is, what does he have here? He's
a long way back from the front now, though. He's probably 45 odd seconds back from the front. If we change away from interview to gap.
13.
47 seconds from the front. 47. He's had to pit. So he's had damage. Alright, so let's keep looking through some of these. So this is Cotter on his accident.
So what's just going around on his own? Okay.
He's just taken a bit too much inside curb there. That's it was a very efficient method to get back on track. I hope he was looking at the relative because it's actually quite impressive. And then, so this is Sean and Philip. So there is, oh, it did look like a touch, didn't it?
It did. When we were looking at the original shot, it did look like Netco, but that looks like a touch there. So
that could be spell trouble for Sean. He is behind on the tables, and just looking at that, he probably shouldn't have had his nose there. So it's that'll be an interesting one for them to unpack. Now, Hal's had another, I think, accident as well, unfortunately.
This is where Sean goes around as well. So Philip goes around.
Oh, just catches him. So Phil, yes. I think they're both in a little bit of strife there because Philip didn't hold his brakes. So, it could be a little bit of post-race action. Usually Trent's job's fairly straightforward, but maybe not tonight if he was following along.
And so it's all, bit of a chaos city tonight in race 2. Having said that, Sean's just put in the fastest lap of 59.102. He is still that 45 odd seconds behind the front. Chuk Fung Wong is a commanding lead now. He's actually almost doubled his lead from when we mentioned it about 5 minutes ago. Sean goes very wide on the left-hand side there, coming into the right-hand turn. He's using all of the track. As we see Timothy Andrew. Timothy suffering quite a bit of damage there.
Yeah.
So he's pulling into the pits as we kind of would expect with all that damage. He was running in 7th, I think it was, 8th. So he's pulled into the pits. Robert Colbraith. Robert's joined this season, the club this season. He's currently sitting in 3rd, which is a fantastic effort by Robert. He's our overseas competitor, and I always forget where he's from. He's an expat American, but he is over in, I think it might be Korea, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But it's great to see Robert doing so well.
Absolutely. And it mixes it up too. So Robert doing well there, holding his own. Once again, that car looks beat up still. He would have suffered on that start line, I reckon. There's he's got Adam Johnson behind, just over 2 seconds. Whether or not he can hold him off, there's 4 minutes left. We'll see. He actually did a faster lap than Adam last lap, so doing a good job out there, but Adam seems to be reeling that back in now. And then Sean's another 7 seconds behind, so unless he really turns it on, he's probably not getting any higher than 5th in this race. And he'll be pretty disappointed with that, given it sorts out the grid for next race.
It does, and I'm just going back a few laps back to the start. Mentioned before that Jonathan Hooper had to go into the pits, so he'll be looking to certainly make amends for that effort in Heat 2, 4, Heat 3. As we see Adam Johnson come down, trying to gain advantage on Robert Colbraith. Manages to break in time, and the guys survive. But is he going to dig up the inside? No, not enough. Not up far enough. As he comes in, moves over the left, comes into the right-hand side. And this, coming up to this chicane here is always very, very tricky.
Oh, goodness.
No.
Oh, that's a big accident.
Jeez.
Oh, no.
What happened? Stay in a straight line, guys.
Yeah, so there is a slight kink going through there, which I think is probably what caught them out. If we have a look at the chopper. Oh, was there more action that I've just missed?
There was more between the gentlemen.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we just quickly have a look back. And yeah, so... Oh, yeah. Probably just quite not enough space. It was borderline, but... converging lines there.
And if you fast forward just a little bit, Sam, we'll see those two come together again. I think.
Oh goodness me, guys! Let's have a look. I think this might be it.
I don't. Is this a turn in?
Oh no! Oh god!
That's yeah.
Gee, that's a bit odd, isn't it?
That is a bit odd. I'm not sure what the guys have eaten for dinner tonight, but there is all sorts of different chaos happening tonight.
Maybe they got themselves a gin and soda or 4 before the race as well. I'm unsure, but those not ideal for those two. Back in pit lane, it's been a remarkably messy session for everyone today.
And that's very unlikely from this series. Normally it's very, very clean.
Yeah, it's unusual.
It is unusual. What it has done, though, Sam, is Sean Rees, who I think is down in 8th position, has now found himself back up into the top 3. So that does have championship ramifications, of course, because he isn't that far behind Chuk Fung Wong in the lead of the championship. So Adam Johnson and Robert Colbraith having it out has benefited Sean greatly.
That car looks sick for Robert, doesn't it?
It does.
Looks like hard work to keep that on the track.
He's got Wayne Edwards behind him, and Wayne's sitting behind Jonathan Hooper in 6th place in the championship. So Wayne won't be giving up at all. He'll be certainly having his eye in and wanting to move up the field. As we have, what is it? There's only 5 seconds left in this race.
So, and where's Wong on track? Yep, he's coming round to the finish line in a tick. This battle is excellent too. And that would be Wong crossing the line to win the race by 23 seconds. How about that for a 15-minute race?
That's massive win. Well done, Chalk.
It does have the capacity, and we've seen it a few times, that when he does get out in front, he does hold it together and can just rack up a, very convincing lead. But we saw it in the production cars, I think, first round. He won the second race, got out to a lead and just, everything else sort of went along behind him, and he kept pushing forward. So, very well done. Rees will probably be pretty happy. 41 seconds down, but still in 3rd place. That's, a good mitigation, really, considering he had to pit as well in a race that you wouldn't usually pit. But yeah, look at that. Only 3 drivers didn't have to pit that race.
That's very much not par for the course in this series, as we were saying before. These guys generally are what we would term gentleman races. Something has gone on with dinner tonight, or I don't know if there's a full moon out or something, but it was very bizarre, the events of tonight.
Absolutely.
As the guys have a 2-minute warm-up, it's not compulsory. Some guys tend to take a drink. Some do go out and have a bit of a run, but some have a bit of a drink. Maybe it's no gin and tonic, it's something a little bit stronger to get them through the race. Maybe a chance for you, Sam, to have something a little bit stronger after all the dramas are setting up tonight.
Well, due to all the dramas of setting up tonight, I've barely touched the gin and tonic, so I've still got plenty remaining. Are you usually a warm-up character, or do you let it go? You go for a bit of a wander and come back?
No. I used to be a warm-up character, but certainly not so much now. I normally take a bit of a breather. I race in VR, so it gets a little bit hot and heavy after a while. So use that chance to get a bit of air under the head, and because there's nothing much else there to keep me going, but no. What about yourself, Sam?
I usually do. I just try and get as much time on track as I possibly can, and if that means doing a warm up before the feature race, that's what I do. I find it's better than me just sort of sitting there thinking about what's going to happen next.
No, fair enough. As we see, Aidan Schultz with the comment tonight. He was an unfortunate victim in race 2. So he jump-started race 1 and got caught up with the pole man not getting off the start in race 2. So he's looking forward to race 3. Aidan Schultz, who's a fairly new member with us, but certainly a gun behind the wheel. I know Aidan will be certainly looking to move up the grid. He'll be starting right at the back, I think. So he'll be hoping for a bit more carnage, so he can move up the field and stay out of it this time. But hopefully there's not too much. We can see some good, clean, close racing.
Absolutely. As they get started on the start line here, with Wong ready to lead them off. Lights are up, ready to go. and they're off. Wong with a good start here. Reese with a very good start, splitting the middle as we split to a better camera. And he gets ahead, so he split the front too. So, yeah, with these cars, there is a big difference between a good start, an okay start, and a rubbish one. As we see, I think Johnson flying off the back there, and Robert Colbraith's in trouble as well, unfortunately.
Robert is not having a good night. He'd be pretty disappointed with how his night is turning out. He normally loves his racing. He loves racing with the club, but he's certainly not having a good night, unfortunately, as Sean... Mega start from Sean. Chook not going to let him go away easily. I don't think that there's going to be a 20 to 30 second gap in this race unless we have Captain Bizarro turn up again. But we're looking at Jonathan Hooper, Aiden. Oh, there's a tap in the rear end there. That's lucky that didn't cause anything worse than just a bit of a nudge. That's coming onto the main straight as we see Shane Kellen in that.
Ooh, wow, this is close.
Oh, careful, boys. Careful.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No, that
Jonathan Hooper's gone.
Gee, it looked like Hooper was trying to take that fairly tight with a car inside, and they were looking fairly fighty. I do wonder whether the boys are struggling with the Mustangs a little bit. It's not a car that they've used a whole lot before. The go-tos are the sort of MX-5, the 86s a little bit, those sort of vehicles, and probably a bit more powerful than what's usually in the up-and-comers as well. So a bit of a different skill.
Yeah, it is, and I was just thinking, it wouldn't be the width of the cars that's making a difference either, Sam, because they're racing the 86s, and they're a similar...
Yeah, I don't think so. As well, gears are really tricky in this car. The gearbox is super tricky. Really easy to miss a gear. So if you're using clutch, you might see guys struggling there, and that might be why the starts have such a discrepancy as well. That is probably the trickiest part of this car. They're relatively planted, and they go nicely when they're pointing in one direction, although they don't like to do too many things at once. They're relatively predictable, but gearboxes are a difficulty. It's that old school, you've got to wait, pull that clutch in, give it some revs on the downshift, or, you could be in strife.
And Ben Woods has chimed in with the Facebook comment. He's half glad he's missed tonight. He really dislikes driving these cars. I think there's a lot of guys on the track that might agree with you there tonight, Ben. We see Adam Johnson come out of the pits. He's after he's off track on lap one. Drag race between Aiden Schultz
and Brendan's just gone. No, I've seen enough. I've seen enough of turn one. No, you can take this.
Justin Cotter ahead in that old HRT livery. He's putting in a great effort. He's currently in P4 as Sean Reese put in the fastest lap of a 59.073, so that's a very quick time, which now bodes the question of can he get down into the 58s. Sean is very much capable. But he has Chook from Wong right on his tail as we see Aiden Schultz and Justin Cotter battle it out. Careful around here, boys. Well done. Made it safe around. Aiden will use there's a lot of draft here, Sam. Aiden has the capacity to use a draft down here. Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah. As Grant said, I think last week, these things have aerodynamics of bricks on wheels. There it goes. There goes Cotter. Oh, no.
He's across the track. Has he collected anyone? I think everyone got through cleanly and missed him. I know... I think it was Brendan Soper was right behind him. It looks like everyone got through though, so...
Yeah, it's back on track now. Well, we've got Andrew off track here as well. It looks like turn 1, 2. So yeah, it is quite a sort of long. that's the thing. The corners that were catching people out, because these were on the production cars the other night. The corners that were really catching people out were those sort of longer corners, because these cars don't really corner and accelerate at the same time particularly easily, and you have to be very gentle on the throttle and on the inputs to make sure that it doesn't go around. So it was those corners that were catching people out. You know, it caught Brendan Whitaker out. You know, it caught some really seasoned characters. Whereas the slower corners is sort of where you can just sort of point and squirt.
Well, if these cars can really catch out guys with the calibre of Brendan Whitaker, I'm glad I don't own it and have never driven it, because it'd be all sorts of a nightmare for me. As we see Sean Rees on screen, Chuk Fung Wong very close behind. Sean, previous lap put in a 59.009. Chasing. Oh, as Aidan Schultz is the first man to go under 59 seconds. He's up 8 spots into P4. Aidan is on fire. He certainly is ready and raring to go for race 3 after his false start or jump start in race 1 and his unfortunate collision with the pole sitter on race 2. Congrats to Aidan. Very, very good effort indeed. He is chasing down only 1.5 seconds behind Wayne Edwards in P3, who's we haven't mentioned too much of Wayne tonight, not through that being on purpose. Wayne has just managed to stay out of drama and is found himself in P3, which will... sorry, Sam, I was just going to say, he's P6 of the championship, so with Jonathan Hooper suffering pretty badly tonight, that will help Wayne's championship hopes pretty well. There we go.
Absolutely. So, 41 points behind, but he has a lot more drop rounds in the bank than Hooper. So, you know, that could end up playing a part depending on how this goes. Usually with this sort of size group, you're just trying to finish, because you could still get a decent haul of points if you finish. Yeah, interesting.
It is, and as we were saying earlier in the broadcast, with the absence of Ben Woods and Greg Padgett, there are points aplenty, certainly for the likes of Hooper and Edwards tonight. And I wonder, they probably don't, but I wonder if guys like Wayne and Jonathan know that the positions are up for grabs after tonight, not having Hooper and Padgett in the server.
Absolutely. So you know, Wong and Rees have taken a pretty clear lead. They're 5.5 seconds up from Edwards. They're sort of trading lap times. You know, Wong's sort of dropped off a little bit. Now he's 1.5 seconds off Rees. He'll be really hoping to make that up a little bit, given there is a benefit of draft and there's very little downforce, so there's not much to go against doing that. Other battles that could come about, Aidan Schultz had a slower lap that lap, so fell back a little bit from Edwards, but we saw him lapping absolutely brilliant pace earlier, so expect that fight to come back on. Oh, as Wong is now right on the back of Rees. Must have made a little bit of an error, because he's made up about a second within that time.
He has, and I wonder if it was at the chicane. That's normally the place on this track which... well, that's actually one place we haven't seen it tonight, but normally that's a place where it does catch a lot of drivers out. As they're coming up onto Robert Colbraith, who would have a night he would rather forget on shore. Robert just moving out of the way, which is fantastic by Robert. He very fair racer, Rob is. Always out to have a great time, but certainly knows that I'm certainly familiar with the blue flags in races like this. So you get a 1.5 second warning if the leaders are 1.5 seconds on your tail. The blue flag pops up automatically from iRacing, and then you get your crew chief telling you to slow, move out of the way, let the leaders through. So Robert's done exactly the right thing there.
Absolutely, and we've got Greg asking if there's pit stops. I'm not sure if you know anything, Ticey, but I'm not aware. It's a 25-minute race, though, so I wouldn't be surprised.
No, well, I actually don't know. I'm not that smart, unfortunately, Sam. But I would not be surprised that that the server's been set up with one pit stop. Time will tell. If there is one, I would say it will be coming up in the next lap or two. If the guys decided to, or if there was one available, there is a fast repair, I think, as we see Robert go off in the side there, and then he moves out of the way again. Well done, Rob. Aiden Schultz, I'm pretty impressed with Aiden. He's still got the fastest lap, 58.949, and he's actually made a move on top of Wayne Edwards, so he's up 9 positions, Aiden is. So that's a brilliant effort. He's probably too far back to catch Reese and Wong, but having, if he keeps doing 58 laps, who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can see Johnson and Colbraith, they both pitted on lap 7. We don't know whether they took fuel. I'd imagine this setup probably follows the production car setup from for this, which does have a pit stop on the 25-minute race. And that could come probably anywhere from now to that 20-minute mark, or maybe a little later. Let me talk away. I'm going to have a quick check of the service, see if I can work it out.
Okay, no worries. As we have our eye on Aiden Schultz, he's what's he done here? Oh no, he's just dropped a little off the leading pack of Reese and Wong. But Wayne Edwards certainly keeping Aiden in his windscreen. Justin Cotter's unfortunately the one that's lost a few positions after he's off earlier in the race. But he's managing to get around. Shane Kelland, again, I'm not familiar with Shane's name. I'm thinking he's a new member of the club in that turquoise striped blue and red livery. That's interesting to say the least. But welcome, Shane. Thanks for joining the club, and it's great to have you along. And congrats on being in P5 so far. What's 23 seconds off Wayne Edwards. So Shane's out all on his lonesome at this point in time. He is and 7 seconds in front of Brendan Soper. As we catch Wong and Reese coming over for lap 14. So we've just gone over halfway. And Wong seems to be catching Reese very quickly. I don't know if Sean's tyres, he's worn his tyres out a little bit more, or the lines a bit different, or he's actually driving defensive. That's probably, as we see his line there, making the car as wide as possible, the old John Bow style, the man renowned for making his car as wide as possible, to be known to be the hardest man to pass in a V8 supercar. But these guys have battled it out pretty much all season, very fairly, very competitively, but there's certainly a class above the rest of the field at this point. Low 59s these guys are doing, so they're the quickest at this.
It's not a huge differential between them and Schultz and Edwards, really. I think they're holding themselves up now with this battle, but as long as they don't knock into very wide from Wong there, but he holds it together. Still sitting behind Reeves, lost a little bit of time, but not much. Does that car look a little bit bent, or is that okay? Hard to tell with these Mustangs sometimes. Oh no, it looks alright.
As a Holden man, Sam, I will refrain from mentioning whether the car looks a bit bent or not.
as a fellow Holden man, I'll also refrain. I'll also refrain from that. Wong taking very wide. Like he's holding it together, but I've seen him with wheels off track a number of times now. But clearly quite a high level of car control because he hasn't seemed phased by that whatsoever.
No, he doesn't. And just having a quick look on the right-hand side of the screen, got Greg Paget not racing tonight because he's in hospital. So we send our thoughts out to Greg, and we wish you a speedy recovery, my friend. I know you've had your health challenges back in the past, and so it's unfortunate that you've had to find yourself back in hospital. But we are thinking of you, Greg, and we do look forward to you coming back and joining us next week. So our thoughts are with you on behalf of all the club.
Absolutely.
As we... Brendan Sopo, who was running pretty well, has just decided to visit the grass. How's that happen? He's done it on his own by the looks of it. It wasn't a curb.
Yeah, he's gone a bit wide there.
Wide, yeah, all on his own. All on his own. And
not too hard to hit, fortunately. But
so the guys certainly have decided to settle down this one, Sam. There's we've only seen one or two replays rather than the 14 or 15 we saw in the previous race.
I will say there's a few off tracks that I haven't shown, just because there have been some decent battles on track as well. We're now 17 minutes into a 25-minute race. I don't think there'll be a pit stop. I was just looking at it. It doesn't look like they've fuel restricted it, so I don't think there'll be one this race, unless I'm misreading iRacing, which is very easy to do. As we see Adam Johnson getting down the inside of Timothy Andrew, a nice move there.
Yeah, very nice.
Andrew almost losing it through there, but seems to have held it together. Yep, well done.
Yeah, nice move from Adam there. He's holding his own and looking to gather a bit more pace in the Mustang. What do we have here? So nothing's really changed. Certainly for the top four. Shane Kelland, who we've mentioned, he's still in P5. He's 15 seconds behind. 30 seconds behind. 15. My gosh, I'm looking at the wrong column. Sam, man, I don't drink, so I can't ask you for a gin and tonic. I might need something a bit stronger than water, maybe a glass of milk or something like they do in the.
I'll get you a Milo or something, maybe. Give you a sugar high. So Reeves got away from Wong here. He's pulled out now almost a 2-second margin. Wong had a really difficult last lap, a 1:02.2, almost 3 seconds, or about 3 seconds slower than their fastest laps. Sean wasn't particularly fast that lap either, but was almost 2 seconds faster than Wong. So whether or not he'll be able to catch that back up, they're probably starting to really push their tyres. That's a great little camera shot, that one there.
It is, and I was noticing those guys are getting very, very close to the grass.
They are. David Johnson's saying he might need to get in the commentary box to get some Ford fans in there. You're welcome in the commentary box, but you're not welcome to be a Ford fanboy. You're still outnumbered.
Yeah, make sure you have that mute button for whenever David starts talking.
It's the bonus of broadcast, Adam. I'm in control.
But that's and with David, he's our GT endurance aficionado for the club. So that's coming up. Mount Panorama is the next GT3 endurance race. Mm-hmm. That is on the 25th of June. So we're still taking entries. and I'm sure that Dave would love to sign up as many members as possible for that, because it is an extra bonus that the club has, the GT3 Endurance Series, and it is the last round for this season at the renowned and very famous Mount Panorama.
Absolutely, and there will be a broadcast as well. Bagsy and I will be on broadcast duty that day, so we're looking forward to that. It'll be nice to get as big a field as possible. Hasn't been huge fields in the endurance this season, but there has been some excellent racing. Road Atlanta comes to mind. Quite a small field, but just brilliant racing. As well, Joe King saying he finds the Mustang much more difficult to drive than the 86 or the MX-5. Completely agree. I find them way more difficult than the 86 and the MX-5 as well. They're both much more my speed, 4 cylinders rather than 8. But yeah, they are quite tricky, and they do definitely take some getting used to as well. Johnson, trying to make this look way easier than it is, using all the road plus some. Yes, they are. The fact that they're doing that and not losing it is pretty impressive. Those two have clearly found a pretty nice little rhythm there, taking those sort of lines. David Johnson's waiting for the Bean Boss entry to arrive. So, Tyson, you're not on broadcast duty.
Yeah, look, we're a bit slack with our endurance, only because we've had guys on holidays and other things going on, and I haven't been available always, and not that I'm anything to sneeze about, but and also our budget doesn't allow us to buy a transporter to transport the cars, so. We may have a chat, although with Greg having some health challenges, we might not be able to make it. But thanks for the shout out, Dave Johnson, even though I did pay you out about the Fords.
Dave doesn't care as long as he gets more people in the Enduros. I'm right there with him on that one.
And it is a great series. I'm normally busy on a Monday night, so I don't normally race GT3s, but they always have a stellar turnout. The GT3 is a very popular series, makes for very good viewing on a broadcast. So if you do have a chance and you're looking to join the club, and you want to see what all the fuss is about, GT3 series is definitely one series that you can watch to see the quality of the driving, and please join. Very cheap. Please join.
Absolutely. Well, I've heard rumours as well that they might be looking at doing GT4s as a prime time next season too. Potentially separating the two. And I don't know if these rumours are hot air, but I personally would think that would be a bit of fun. And another sort of good semi-entry, not completely entry level, but semi-entry level, as we see a lapped car slowing down there. Well done. It does make sense. These guys taking a lot of curb. These would be one of the very few cars that you can really do that through there, because those curbs are aggressive. But just because of the way this thing drives, very, very, pretty soft suspension and very heavy. Sort of goes over them. I wouldn't say a Rolls Royce, but a little bit more like that than it would be in a V or an MX-5.
And we've done a lot of blabbering on Sam, and I mean that respectfully, but only just to lead into the fact that the positions really haven't changed. Certainly amongst the top 6 or 7. So. Sean Reese, Chuk Fu Wong, Aidan Schultz, Wayne Edwards, Shane Kelland, Justin Cotter and Jonathan Hooper rounded our top 7. Brendan Soper, Adam Johnson, Timothy Andrew, Robert Colbraith are a lap down, and Philip Howard didn't start, or he had I can't actually remember. Well, he's out anyway. So Where are we? We are very, very close to an end.
Borderline as to whether or not this is final lap. I think it will be, but depends whether Barney got active early on. Can we see him? Probably not.
I think he's waving. I think this is the last
that
lap.
would be the final lap. So Rees, in a very good battle there, just took that lead at the start of the race, which I'll replay in a sec because it was a brilliant start. Made it work. Held off Wong. Wong challenged him a number of times throughout the race, but he held his nerve and continued on. That's 2 wins this round for Rees and 1 for Wong. If we get, I'm not sure if I can get results up yet. Let's see. Show me the results. No. No, that would be the second race. So we'll get results up in a tick. Aha,
okay.
Feature. Yeah, now everyone's finished.
There we go. Sean Rees takes out P1, Chuk Fong Wong, Aidan Schultz, Wayne Edwards, Shane Killen, Justin Cotter, Jonathan Hooper, Brendan Soper, Adam Johnson, Timothy Andrew, Robert Colbraith, and as we mentioned, Philip Howe out of the server. So Sam, action-packed race 2, pretty tame race 3, which is what we're kind of used to. As we see the start, we look at Sean Rees at P3, he just gets a monster start.
Huge.
And he's on the outside going into turn 1. That was a really classy move by Sean.
Absolutely. Yeah, and classy that they all kept it together as well. It's those sort of situations where you can have those big crashes on the grid, as we saw in the second race, right? Where you have those real differentials in starts that you get in cars like this that don't have traction control and have a bit of power. But they did a good job to hit that together. Now that it's probably not quite so a mixed up grid as well.
Yeah, that's right. And look, Sean and Chook have been the standouts of the season, and those guys are fair and firm races, and they tend to always be stuck together. You can generally throw a blanket between those two guys, but so it's nothing that we're not used to seeing. But it was the fact that they keep each other honest that we like with Chook and Sean as. We have who I think the driver of race 3, my favourite driver of race 3, if I can be so bold and have a commentator's favourite, has joined us in the broadcast. Aidan Schultz, welcome. Congratulations on P3. Not only P3, Aidan, up 9 positions and the fastest lap of race 3. You must be pretty impressed with that effort.
I'd rather talk about P3 in race 3 than every other race, to be honest, after the qualifying pole. So, let's keep talking about race 3. That's good.
Yeah, mate. We did mention your comment that you had after the mishap of race 2, where you jump started race 1 and then had the unfortunate accident with the pulsar who didn't quite get off the line. Timothy Andrew. I'm guessing you would have been probably a little bit nervous and a bit hesitant in race 3 about where to position the car and that sort of thing, certainly off the line.
Not really, mate. Like, coming into race 3 after what happened in the first 2 races, I just wanted to get through, and that's why it took me so long to get through. Like, I just didn't want to crash. But a little bit disappointed because last week me and Ticey and Chook had a really good race, and we shared a win each, and it was podium, and it was really good racing. And coming in tonight, I think I was 2 or 3 tenths up quicker in qualifying, and then obviously made that mistake off the start, which is all on me in the first race. And I'm actually kicking myself because I see Chook won by about 16 seconds in race 2, and I probably would have won by about 25, I think, from where I was compared to he was on the grid. And I said to the boys that I was in Discord, it's a little bit of the night that could have been. So just wanted to make my way through. You could see that I was catching those boys at the front, but yeah, I don't know. It was fun nonetheless, and we go on again, but good to get a P3 there and work my way through the field.
Yeah, and Aidan, you're a newish member to the club. How have you found the club? How have you found the racing and the variety of races that are put on?
Not really a new member of the club. I've been a member for probably about 18 months now, but do very few and far between races because of other leagues that I do. But answer to your question, I can say Gentleman Sim Racing Club is one of the best leagues that I do run now. I'm doing a lot more of it. I think the driving standard is right up there, regardless whether you're in beginners. I ran the GT3s last night at Bathurst. It doesn't matter where you run, it's a good quality of racing. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of it, and hopefully be able to actually do a full season instead of the odd one or two races, and see if I can get these boys and get a little sticker on the back of my rig.
Yeah, they're certainly something to aspire for. Not that I actually would know. I remember seeing you in the GT3 last night, and when I say I saw you, I saw the back of your car the whole time. So
the funny thing is, man, I'll tell you now, I was running baseline.
Yeah, that makes me feel even worse. So
yeah, I was running baseline because I got no VRS or I got nothing. I was running baseline, just having a run. So it was good. I'd like to get my teeth cut into a little bit more of that stuff. Coming from doing the officials and going back-to-back Daytona 24-hour winner and Le Mans 24-hour winner in our split, I'd like to get right back into that and do a lot more of that. I've probably been tied up a little bit more in the oval side of things, but I'm really enjoying coming back to the road. So, and this is exactly where I want to do it in this forum with Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. The guys in behind here are really good at what they put up for us every week, and to be honest, obviously we had some issues tonight with some silly little incidents, but that doesn't happen all the time, and for the most part it's really good racing. So I love it.
And I am familiar with your oval racing, Aidan, with another league that I'm a part of as well. But I guess my leading question to that is your background oval racing mainly, or is it road racing and you've gone to oval and have come back?
So I did 25 years of real world road racing. So I'm 38 now, so we're sort of like talking in the past. But when I was young, I went over to Europe and raced Formula 3 and then did a bit of sprint cars and midgets and stuff like that in the dirt scene. But in terms of NASCAR oval, no. I just navigated there through people I knew, and I was just enjoying it, having fun. But my background is definitely road. Love doing road, love the GT stuff, love the endurance stuff. I love the fact that you got to rely on other people, and it sort of creates the fun a part of it. Like if you're doing a 12-hour, 6-hour, 24-hour, there's so much more that goes on in behind the scenes, and you can sit there and have a chat to each other, and it's not just on one person. So I just like that part about iRacing. I got a little bit into it and trying to get up there and do everything, but now I'm just like, I'm in it for the fun and have a bit of fun. So that's what we try and do. Unfortunate tonight I didn't get to use my pace, but I tell you what, I'm definitely happy for the guys in the top two that were the top two in the championship, and they got a chance to fight it out tonight without me being in the way, albeit I wanted it to be, but it was still good to see.
And next week is the final round for the season, but it is the 3 cars that have been raced this season at 3 different tracks. So, and it's been a situation this season where the track isn't made known until the Sunday before. So, what are your thoughts leading into next week, Aidan, with 3 cars, 3 tracks?
Mate, with the amount of racing I do now, probably join the server and see how I go, to be honest. But the thing I like about this in the up-and-comers and stuff like that, it's all fixed, so it's the same for everyone. I saw their 3 practice, like I was a second quicker than anyone but then when they get there, like, and do laps, like you've seen, Adam, you know, like you do laps, you get quicker and quicker and quicker. I don't know. I'm really just wanting to stay out of trouble and just have fun with the boys. Next year I'm going to select 2 or 3 leagues that I do here in GSRC and give it a full tilt, because I think I might have something, but we'll see what we've got. But I'm just loving running the boys at the moment. Chook is really good. He got a second last night at Bathurst, I believe, in the GT3 Pro-Am or the Amateur Series. So he's doing really good. He races really well. Sean Breeze races really well. They'll say from last week, the 3 of us had a ding-dong battle. So hopefully there around next season we can have a really, really good run and see if we can put on a bit of a show.
Awesome. Well, it's been very, very good to talk to you, Aidan. Thanks for joining us in the comms booth, and thanks for being a part of the club and for your positive viewpoints on the club. It's a pleasure to have you along, and good luck for next week.
Yeah, no worries, mate. And just a big shout out for you guys putting on the broadcast. I know you don't broadcast this all the time, so I know it was a very depleted field tonight, but the guys would love having that broadcast, so thank you so much, and look forward to being part of it in the future.
Awesome, Aidan. Thanks very much, mate.
No worries. Have a good night, gentlemen.
Yeah, you too. Mr. Chapman, we don't have anyone waiting in the wings, so that might be our chance to duck off early-ish. We won't do a Zach Cabot and stay around for 4 hours. As much as we love Zach, and he's well, like I say this with all seriousness, his expert commentary. It's fantastic commentary, some of the best in the business. But it would also be remiss of us, Sam, if we didn't mention our sponsors, the organisations that help us run broadcasts and run the club and that sort of thing. So if I just read off the bottom of the screen, it's probably the easiest. Flash Graphics, thanks to John Simpson. Login Systems, who are our Endurance Series sponsor. Waste Options. West Orange Motors. The GSRC is us, of course. Astute Finance, East Brisbane. Blackout Electrical Solutions. And Fisher and Door Lawyers. Now, I think that might be... Yes, it is.
Yeah, you've nailed it. You've got them down pat now.
We haven't broadcasted too much this season, Sam, unfortunately, due to life commitments and so forth. But normally when we do, we can tend to rattle them off by heart. But we thank those companies certainly for allowing us to put on a show, put on broadcasts, and allowing us to race with each other. And any final thoughts, Sam?
Well, final thoughts is we're going to roll in next week to the final round of all the series of the GSRC, including the Endurance Series. We will be broadcasting next Tuesday as well. It's a super sprint, so tune in for that. That'll be a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun last season when we did it. It was probably the best championship battle I've ever watched, going right down to the final lap and laps of that race, and ended up actually coming down to Greg having a 0x race, tipping over the line. And as well, you'll be dumbstruck, I've actually done the schedule this week. So.
Oh, look, no way.
Oh, no, how's that? Let's have a look.
Look at that. So tomorrow night, Formula Ford Series and the V8 Supercars. Thursday night's the Production Car Challenge and the Porsche Cup. And Porsche Cup always brings out plenty of numbers. And the Friday nights is the Wings and Slicks, which is the USF 2000 they are currently running. Sam, are you a driver in... you're the Production Car Challenge driver, aren't you?
Yes, that's what I'll be looking at. It's Clio's at Winton this week. So Chris Whitaker's been having a whine about that, despite doing a clean sweep of the Clio's last time. So hopefully someone will be able to knock the Whitaker perch off this time, because it's they've been very dominant in those top 2 spots, and then it's a bit closer behind. So that's the sort of second last round, and then they'll fly into Sandown with the 86s for the final round, which will obviously be brilliant. I'm not sure where the other ones are this week. I haven't had a quick look.
I had that here. So what are we? So the Formula Ford is at the Charlotte Roval.
Oh yeah.
The supercars are at Sandown. So
Great.
old Aussie track. That always puts on a good show. The supercars at Sandown. Production cars at Winton, as you said. The Porsche Cup is at Hockenheimring. So German car at a German track, and the wings and slicks at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I wonder if that's just an oval race for a change. I might have it wrong.
It is a USF 2000, so I think it is part of that sort of road to Indy sort of class, which is also why we can't broadcast it. We're not allowed to broadcast the Friday races because it's part of that sort of IndyCar rubbish deal with that other company that's doing races for them. So
yeah, I'm not sure who the brains trust behind that was, but that was a move that I don't think was thought out very well. But anyway, what would we know, Sam? We're just minnows in this very big pond of sim racing. But we're heading very, very quickly towards the end of the season. We still have this week's races, of course, and then next week is the final week of the season. Following that is the Bathurst Endurance final round of the endurance race that we had mentioned earlier. So, is there anything else that we need to touch on, Sam, before we say goodnight, or have we done?
I don't believe so. I just thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back. Next week. Hopefully on time this time. I'll do my best. I'm a bit rough on the broadcast. Haven't done one in a little while. Thank you all for watching, and we'll sign out.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.